Welcome to another video. I'm John, and I'm here to help you navigate through the world of job seeking, career transitions, and building the life that you deserve. Today, I'm talking about resume overload. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you like the content of this video and you get some value from it, please consider hitting the like button. Okay, resume overload. What am I talking about? I finished a lengthy career strategy session with a client last night. And one of the areas we discussed was the fact that he's been in his current job ever since he graduated university. He's worked in it for about 15 years now, and he's looking to transition. But he hasn't had a resume since the first one he used when he finished college. And he's looking at rebuilding something from scratch. But he hasn't got any idea what to do. So like most people, he went online, went to YouTube, and he found thousands of videos on how to write a resume, how to write a cover letter, interviewing, job search techniques. So I decided to kind of check out what he was looking at. And I know this channel is another channel which discusses similar topics, but I wanted to see what exactly is out there and what kind of information he was getting. And wow, there is so much information out there. There is, there's the top 10 list, the top 3 things you should do, the top 3 things you shouldn't do, the best structure for a resume. Should you, using AI, ChatGPT to craft your cover letter, craft your resume. There's so much out there. And for somebody whose field is not resume writing, who just wants a compelling document, a presentation to give to potential employers, he had no idea where to start. He was completely overwhelmed. So he came to me and he said, can you help me through this? But in looking at all of these videos and, resource guides, there is so much conflicting information. People recommending this, other people saying, no, don't do that. This is what you want to do. And some people giving just dreadful information, things that as a recruiter would completely turn me off once I actually received the physical copy of the resume, or if I was reading it on the screen, things that I would never, ever advocate doing. So what I want to do in this very quick video is perhaps really get back to basics and focus on, cut through the clutter, cut through the noise, and say, suggest these are the items that you might want to consider looking at incorporating into your resume. Now, the first thing I would say is keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate anything. Your resume has one key objective: to convey the value that you bring, to align yourself to the position you're applying for, and to get the recruiter to pick up the phone, reach out to you, and call you in for an interview. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less than that. Keep it simple. Keep the layout nice and clean. Don't use sidebar information. Don't use fancy little text boxes. One, they're annoying to read. Recruiters absolutely do not like those. We read resumes in the same way we read a book, top down, left to right. That's it. Keep it nice, clean, text-based, without any fancy layouts, any fancy structures. Importantly, too, using those elements can actually impede ATS screening. ATS systems read your document the same way we read documents, the same way you read a page on a book. Using little text boxes, borders can often trip up ATS systems and skip over information that you want to make sure the recruiter is reading. Don't inundate them with information. 2 pages is fine. 2 pages, 800, 850 words, that's all you want. The average read time, there's different estimates. The average read time is believed to be around 8 to 12 seconds. In some places, it's even less. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Depending on the position you're applying for, the reader might spend more time, at least on the second read through, spend more time going through your resume. But as a basic rule of thumb, keep it as short and as concise as possible. Now, if you've got 15 years of experience, take advantage of the second page. Don't cram it all into one page. Conversely, or in addition, if you have a lot of information and you buy into the idea that your resume needs to be one page, which it doesn't, but if you want to keep it into one page, don't try to do that by decreasing your font size to a size 6. I've seen this. They're impossible to read and incredibly challenging. Stick to size 10 Arial font, size 10, size 11 Arial font. Take it to a second page if you have the experience. If you're a new graduate, keep it to one page. But again, don't try to condense too much information into that one page. So keep it simple in terms of layout, length, 1 to 2 pages. Stay focused. Focus on the skills and competencies that the job ad is asking you for. Don't give way too many unnecessary details. We don't need, I was working with somebody recently who put on his resume, he was an athlete and he had come first in a race. But looking at the dates and looking at his age, this was when he was in grade school or a primary school. A reader has no interest in knowing what anybody did in primary school. Additionally, depending on the position you're applying for, and you know, there are some nuanced points to this. Generally, a reader is not overly interested in your personal interests or your hobbies. Avoid giving too much information that's not relevant to the job. The only exception to this is if you're applying for an internship. You're a high school student, you're in university, you're applying for an internship. Many companies like to see what you're involved in outside of the classroom environment. But in general, avoid giving personal details, hobbies, interests. Keep it focused on the job. Talk directly to the job ad. See what they're looking for in the ad. See where your experience matches, and as much as possible, incorporate the language and the terminology from the job ad into your descriptions, but only if you have that experience. This will help you get through the ATS screening algorithm. Chances are the keywords in the ATS algorithm match the keywords and terminology in the job advertisement. And keep it plain and keep it conservative. This is kind of going back to my earlier point about keeping it simple. Don't go for anything fancy. Don't use little icons. Don't have a multitude of colors. 1 to 2 colors through your resume is fine. Do not highlight points you want to express in bold. So if you've worked on budgets and in the job ad, it mentions must have experience developing and monitoring variance to budgets, do not highlight monitoring variance to budgets in your descriptions. That's almost akin to shouting. The reader is capable of reading that without it being in bold. So do not highlight key points. I just watched a video just now where the presenter was advocating for highlighting key points, in different colors. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So the best tips I can advise on, or I can suggest right now, if you're just starting your resume, keep it simple, stay focused, talk directly to the job, and as much as possible, be as plain and conservative as you can. Nothing too fancy, nothing glamorous, nothing overwhelming. The last thing you want the reader to do is to pick up or read on the screen your resume and just be completely like, there's way too much here. Keep it focused, keep it clean, keep it short, concise, and as tight as you can. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below. Any other suggestions, any tips, any advice you might want to add, be more than happy to hear them. And again, hope you got some value from this video. Please subscribe. It'll help me on the ATS algorithm and get the videos out there more to help more people. And if you did get some value from this and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.